Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me again today on Follow the Turtle, Educate Yourself. Today we are continuing to talk about support group leaders after brain injury. Today I have a special guest with me, and her name is Connie Wright. Thank you, Connie, for joining us. And I'm going to let Connie tell you a little bit about her background, and then she will tell you what she'd like to about her experience with brain injury.
Thanks, Kitty. Hi, everybody out there in brain injury land. My name is Connie, and I'm a pretty new brain injury survivor. I had my accident in August of 2020, and like so many others, I'm learning it was a car accident. And I was in a Prius, and a construction truck, not paying attention, doing 65, ran over my Prius that was stopped. So truck won, Prius lost. But I was unconscious and woke up in the hospital, and my head had split open, and they thought I wasn't going to live to the hospital, and they were pretty certain I was paralyzed, but I did live, and I'm not paralyzed, so yay. And that's kind of just how I got my brain injury. Kitty, what do you want to know next?
I would like to know, tell everybody what you did before and your job now.
Okay, so I've been a mindfulness life coach for many years. I've been a yoga instructor for over 25 years and taught meditation for over 20 years. And you know, I was kind of one of these people who thought, oh my goodness, if anything ever big happened in my life because of my mindfulness, I would just be able to cruise by and handle it. And that was incredibly arrogant of me to think that, because, you know, the several months after my brain injury, I fell into a super bad depression, which many of you also experience. It's very common with a brain injury. You know, it's hard when you wake up and you are a different person. You have a different brain and you have a different personality, and you're struggling to maybe walk, maybe speak. It's very difficult. And you know, a brain injury is not like a broken arm. There is no, well, we're going to cast it up and it will be better in 4 to 6 weeks. And so coming to grips with all of that, I was really grieving my lost, I call her Connie 1.0, pre-accident. I was really grieving for her, and I was really terrified of my future in this new Connie 2.0 version, what that would look like. And you know, it was many months in, I was suicidal. Like, depression is not a strong enough word. And I was crying to my husband one day, and I said, I hate who I have become. And I didn't mean my Connie 2.0. I meant I hated that I had become this victim in my own mind, and so negative and so jealous and so down all the time. And I hated that. And that was kind of my light bulb moment, because of my mindfulness practice before my accident, I knew that no one could make me happy but me. And regardless of if I improved or how much I improved over the years coming, it wouldn't matter unless I found peace with my injury and acceptance for my new life, and found happiness with wherever I was at in that day. And so that's what I did to get out of my depression. I started implementing pulled out all the bags of tricks, everything I could think of to do. I started more meditation, more self-talk. I started listening to audio books on inspiration and visualization and healing the body. And I just did like a deep dive into my mindfulness practice to help me get out of my depression, but also to help me find acceptance with everything. I mean, it's really interesting when a brain injury person tries to explain to somebody who doesn't have a brain injury what's happening. The list is so long of all the weird things that are happening because it's a brain. It's our brains, and our brains do everything. And so when a brain injury occurs, all kinds of things start going crazy. And it's so hard to have anyone understand who not only doesn't have one, but isn't inside your own brain. So that's why I really dug into my mindfulness. So that's kind of what I do. And then I started going to a support group that I found online. Because again, I was super depressed and trying to find my way out of it, and knew that I needed to talk with other people who got me, who understood, because it's really lonely. It's so lonely on the side of the brain injury because no one understands what's happening. And so I went to the support group. The statewide one is where I started. And I'm sure Kitty already has the links somewhere here for you.
Yeah. I got it.
With the Brain Injury Association of North Carolina. And I just kind of sat there. Actually, the first few, I couldn't even have my camera on because my vision was so distorted that it would give me migraines. And I just listened. I didn't really have much input. It was really quiet. And I was just kind of taking it in, but it was really comforting because it is the place that I could go to, that if I stuttered when I spoke, or I said the wrong thing, or my speech was slow, no one was going to judge me. And that is an incredible safety net. And I can't remember who asked me, the host or somebody else had asked what I did before my accident. And I told them I was a mindfulness coach. And then someone else in the group messaged me on the side and said, hey, would you be willing to work with he was the caregiver. And he's like, would you be willing to work with me, the caregiver, and my wife, and help us, kind of implement some new things that could help? And I was really nervous because, again, I was really fresh out of my brain injury and struggling myself. And but I was like, yeah, I will. I'll give you what I know and what's worked for me, and hopefully it will work for you guys. And so I started working with this couple, and then that's kind of where it all stemmed from. This couple spread the word like wildfire to other people in the Brain Injury Association, that the things I was teaching them were really helping them, and that it could help other people too. So that's when it kind of came about that the Brain Injury Association, Susan, a support group leader, Susan, she asked if I would do my own support group. And I was so reluctant. I told her no many times. She was really persistent. And I just kept saying, I can't, I'm not who I used to be. Like that just seems like I'm really going to mess it up. And I just don't know if I'm literally capable. And I don't even know how to work Zoom. And it was really intimidating. And she was like, just try it, Connie. And I was like, okay. So that's how it came about. And now I'm a support group leader and I teach mindfulness to other brain injury survivors and caregivers, because mindfulness is something that carries through to everybody, whether you have an injury, an illness, or you're healthy bodied. Anyone, it's good for everybody. So that's what I do now.
That is great, Connie. That is absolutely great. And by the way, I do attend Connie's mindfulness class on Friday mornings at 10 o'clock. They are not hard to get into. They are not intimidating. They're just very relaxing and very inclusive of everybody. You can be yourself. You can cry if you want to. You cannot cry. You don't have to talk. You can talk. It's just a place where you can be your own self. So with that, I'm going to thank Connie for joining me today. I will tell you that you can reach the Brain Injury Association of North Carolina by calling 1-919-833-9634. Or you can go online at www.bianc.net. And there you can find a lot of information for a lot of different things. So I encourage you to contact us, and I hope to talk to you very soon. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll talk later. Bye for now.